I've had a bunch of people ask me how I build these cigar box guitars, and especially people who buy them, and they're just fascinated by it. So I thought, well, we're going to make a video on how I do make these, and it's pretty simple. I buy the washboard pretty much off eBay, and sometimes you get a really nice one like this. Sometimes you get them, they're rusty. You almost need a tetanus shot to work on them, but this is going to go to a guy in Nashville, and I think he kind of wanted a more clean one, so I went ahead and got this one. I kind of paid up a little bit for it, but I thought, well, it's going to be worth it. That's what he wanted. I kind of custom build these things for people. I ask them what they want in their features and how they want this wood stain and whatever else. But what I try to do is I try and leave this as original as I can. I don't want to be poking holes in this or drilling holes. I like to leave it original. I think I'll show it to you later on in the video. I talk about that as well. But what I do is I pretty much start with just cutting out the wood. And what it is, the wood sits in here like this. I don't have these pieces all trimmed out. I'm just going to show you for a rough estimate. This is pretty much how it'll go together. This is the frame. This is where the neck's going to drill sit right here. So I'll drill a hole in here and put the neck in. And the back piece is where I put the controls. So I'll have drill holes for the tone, the volume control, and for the input jack. That's what I'll put that back here. So, but I have to do it in a process that kind of works for me, because these things are. I could build this thing in a day and have it completed, the whole thing, but when you when you have to wait on adhesive to dry or glue to dry, things like that, it gets to be a real hassle. But I've built so many of these things I could probably do it in my sleep. But what I do is I pretty much start out with a basic box frame, and I just set these in here. What I do is I'll actually cut these boards. I have a little Dremel tool, and I cut these to fit over this right here, so it sets level. Actually, it goes this way. So that's why I mark these boards to go. I'll cut that out, and it'll fit over this thing real nice. And same thing over here. I'll cut those out, and it'll fit in there. And so it sets down real tight against the wood, and then this washboard part of it. And I'll glue these first. After I get those carved out, I'll glue this together first. But I'll take it off here and I'll turn it upside down on a flat piece of wood, so it's stable and it's level and makes it square. Now I'll glue right here, a joint here, right here, just set up here, and it takes overnight. Then what I'll come in with 4 screws, and I'll put screws in here, 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 and here. That helps secure this thing's going to take a lot of pressure because the neck's on here, and when you get those strings hooked onto this, the neck's going to have a lot of tension on it. So I want to make sure this is very secure. And that's why I add these pieces inside. Turn this back around for you. I want this thing to be as secure as I can, so I'll put these little supports in here, and it just makes it a little bit better adhesive to this. Just the frame, just beefs up the frame. That's all it will. It's just how it works, and it's a little process, just a little time consuming, but I like it. It's fun. My friends think I'm crazy, but they're probably not wrong. But anyway, this is pretty much standard. It doesn't take a lot of time. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of effort. I have basic hand tools. I don't have anything real fancy, and that's where I have to be creative and think, how can I do this efficiently yet make it work well? And this is the best part I could think of. What I'll do is I'll actually come in later and put this is not the right wood. I'll put a brace in across here, and I'll put in a brace down here at the bottom to help hold this in. This is what the controls sit on. Help hold that in. I'll show you guys in the video. It's pretty evident. But I just want to make this as tight as I can and secure as I can. So if the guy who buys the sack happens to drop it, it's not going to spring and fall over the place. But there's other people that have made these, and I have no clue what they did to it or how they do it. This is how I do it. I got the idea from C6 Steve. He's an artist over in Sweden. He tours around Europe all the time, and he has a real crazy one. I got a video on how mine compares to his, and that's where I got the idea. So that's where I just thought it'd be kind of funny to build one of those. And this is the one that I built that replicates Steve's. He has just one string on his, and so I thought about that. I thought, well, how can I build one look kind of like his? And this is where I got the idea. So this is the first one I ever built, and you see it's just very basic, and I just kind of threw it together, but it works pretty good. It sounds good. But anyway, that's where, without having any plans, no idea how to do it, and I've not seen anybody else's videos that have made these. So this is how I do it. And I've changed the design through the many I've built, and I just kind of got this down to the pat where I think it's going to be good like this. So, okay, well I'm gonna go trim these pieces out. I'm not going to do it on camera. Just, you don't need to see me working like a madman trimming the wood, gluing it. It's pretty self-evident, but I have a lot of clamps and things like that I tighten it up with. But we'll get back to you as the video continues. You'll see the progress I make through this. Okay? Thanks. I think we're about on day 3 on this build here. And I just took the clamps off these inside rails here, which we just glued in yesterday. And what I want to do is, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little support right here. I'm going to glue this in just to, in case this gets dropped. I don't want this to be smashing together, which I doubt if it will. I'm going to put a little stringer down here, back behind these pieces of wood here. This is where the control knobs and the input jack's going to be, in the back here. I'm going to put this little stringer in to kind of help reinforce these pieces of wood here, just to make it a little bit easier to, so not as wobbly. I'll put 2 screws on this side and 2 screws on this side to really help secure that. But I want this thing to be really secure and sturdy when I start mounting the neck and everything. So we're going to be doing that. I'm not going to show you guys all the gluing process. It's kind of stupid. So that's how I kind of show you where we are on this build. And I'm going to put this across here just to add some depth and strength to it. And I'll bring it back tomorrow, see what we're up to. Thanks. Okay, well, I pulled the brackets off this thing after letting it sit overnight, let the glue dry. So what I've done, I went ahead and drilled out these holes. I'm not going to show you guys drilling holes. It's kind of boring. So I'm just going to, this is the back plate. This is where the volume control is going to be in the tone. This is where the input jack is going to end up being. So I'm just going to put this in the back like this. It just sits right there. And I've already drilled screw holes right here and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this little bracket in here. I'm going to glue this in. And what it'll do is it'll help support this back one. So when you're pulling in the jack and things like that, it doesn't rattle this too much. So I'm just going to do that later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. I'm going to screw these in. I'm going to come back real quick and show you guys. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the this is the input jack, and just undo the screw here. Pretty much just, I haven't checked these, so I hope they're right. Hope they're the same size. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just put one of these washers that comes with the kit in here. Make sure it's the right way. Go like that. So it kind of covers up some of the hole, if the hole's kind of scraggy or not. So I'll just finger tight these right now because I don't want to sit there and go through the whole gyration. This is the pickup. This is the Phantom pickup, and right along here is a really powerful magnet. These are really powerful pickups, so they will pick up the string vibration through the metal of this washboard. These are really nice. they're amazing as far as the quality you get out of them. So I buy them from MGB. I say they're negligible in the price. I think they went up a little bit, but what hasn't? Here's the volume. Here's the tone. So you just put them through like this. That's pretty much how that works. Again, you just put these little spacers over this. If I'm boring to people who've done this before, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to show this to people who really haven't had a chance to see how these things work. And it just how everything comes together. So I'm just going to finger tight these for right now. I got another thing I want to show you guys here in a minute. So I've got knobs somewhere. I ordered some new knobs because I kind of ran out, so I ordered some silver ones, and they should be coming here pretty quick. But you just put the knobs here, and here's the tone, here's the volume, here's where you just put you plug into the amplifier, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how I drill out the holes for the strings on the back of this. It's pretty easy. What I do is I pretty much find the middle of this board. I think this is 8 5/8. So you just find the middle of this board, and I'm going to make a mark. Yeah, this is not rocket science, but like I said, I have no prior training for woodworking. This is just how I figure out the best way to do these things. So what I do is I'm going to take this, and the middle hole I'm going to put right in the middle. So I'm just going to take a drill bit and go through here and mark the wood on the other side. That's pretty much how I do it. Like this. So I just go in there and mark it. I'll mark this one too. Make sure this is level. So I'll mark this one as well. I'll mark the final one over here. Right there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my smaller drill. Now I need to drill the holes through here so they come out the other side, so the strings will come out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill this kind of at an angle up a little bit. So when I drill these holes, it's going to come out the top. I'm going to make sure they're straight, but I'm going to make sure it kind of goes up so there's not a lot. So it comes out the other side. You see where the drill through right here. So that's where the strings go in. They're going to come out this other side. If you drilled them straight through, you're going to come real close to this piece of wood here. And I don't want that. So hold on. What I've done, I've just measured across here. This is 8 5/8. Some of these are a little bit different. They're all different lengths. 8 5/8. I put the mark right in the middle, right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little. This is the jig I use to drill out my tuners on my neck. So, but up here are the 3 holes that I made for the eye screws that go up by the tuners to keep the strings go down and under and tight. So I use this down here, and this board is about a 1/2 inch. This is about a 1/2 inch from here to here. So I just it's basically about a 1/2 inch. So I just know that about where to put this. So this middle hole I put with the center mark on here. Hold on. I had to get more drill bits. Because what I do is I drill these one again. I'm going to enlarge the hole once more. And again, I'm going to go up the angle. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more hole, one more size hole. I'll show you why in a minute. I'm going to make sure these go up pretty straight. And Okay. Again, you can see they're coming out the other side right here. What I'm going to do is I actually take, you know, if you just leave those like that, it's going to wear, the wood's going to wear down by the tension of the string. So what I do is I get these brass eyelets. I got these from CB Giddy up in New Hampshire. He had them on sale one time, so I just bought a whole bunch of them. What I'll do is I'll put these in here. Pretty much press them in. Well, I'm going to get some screwdriver here or something. I'm just going to push these in. Now remember, this hole's at an angle, so you're going to have to kind of hold it a little bit different here. I did this yesterday. It worked fine. Hold on. Yeah, what I did, I drilled out these holes a little bit bigger so they fit. I just take a hammer to hammer them in. It's pretty easy. So that way, like I said, the wires won't wear down this wood. Sometimes if you buy an old washboard, the wood's real brittle, so you got to be kind of careful how you work with it. This one's a fairly newer one, and I'm not sure why I got it so cheap, but it was. I think I got this one for like 20 bucks off eBay. But I just take these and hammer them in. And what I'll do is I've got another size of these. These are smaller here. These are short shank brass eyelets. Again, I got these from CB Giddy. They had them on sale. So I'm gonna put these on the other side. And if this is boring you guys to tears, I'm just trying to give you guys the whole show here. So these are, I'm just going to put one in. I don't want to burn up a bunch of time putting these in. These could be a real pain in the rear because they're just kind of finicky. So I think you guys kind of get the drift how I put these in here. Just like that. You know, as you get older, you lose the dexterity in your hands. Oh my goodness, that's kind of frustrating. I'll do that later, but you guys get the idea. I'll put these three along here, so it'll be brass eyelets in here and out here as well. So, okay, thanks. I finally got these in, so I'm going to hammer them in a little bit here. Took a little bit longer, so you just make sure those are in real well. And I'll just use a piece of wood. And what I usually do is grab a drill bit and clean it out, clean out the debris that may be in there. So yeah, these have some debris in there, so I'll have to clean them out. You see how it comes out the other side. Not uncommon. Again, this one's coming out. I try not to drill these holes out too big, because I want those eyelets to stay in there. And if you have to drill them bigger to get the eyelets in there, you got to put in some glue behind here. So, okay, I think you get the idea. Yeah, I finally got that one in there. It was a little bit tense. Yesterday I did one of these and it just worked perfectly. I should have recorded that one. Oh well. What I'm gonna do is I can actually, without this piece of wood back in here waiting for it to dry, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I mount the necks on these. And what I do is I measure from side to side on this right here. So I'll put a mark in the middle. Then I'll measure down from where the bolt is on the neck. So let me show it to you. what I did, I measured from here to here is like 7 1/8. So I measured, so the middle is right there. And what I did, this bolt is about a 1 1/8 from the bottom of the fretboard. So I marked that right here. So that should be where that bolt goes in, right here. And if I measured it right, it should go in. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And I'm going to do this off camera. You guys don't need to see the stuff. How I do this, I measure, I take a mic, and zero it out, of course. And I'm going to see how big this bolt is. So show you how to do that. So what I do, it's going to be, it's 0.28. So what I do is I'll get a little bit bigger drill bit, like a 0.30, and drill that out. So this will slide in there nicely. So that's pretty much what I do. So I drill this hole out, a little bit oversized from that bolt. So just so this will go in easy. Just pretty much sit in there like this. That's it. And it fits pretty tight as far as a good connection here and here along this heel. And I'll just take some washers. Just get a couple washers, put them in here like this and like this. That's pretty much it. I really don't ever put the knobs on before I do this because it's just kind of a pain in the butt. I got to move this stuff around a little bit. And you just pretty much put these on and tighten them down. You don't need to crank them down like, because remember this is just wood, so it's not like you're cranking down metal against metal. So you got to kind of be careful. So that's pretty much like that one, and then I just put this one on here like this. And I'm not going to tighten it down now because I got to take it off. I gotta put the tuners in this thing. I just want to show you how I mount the neck on these, and that's pretty much it on the neck. You just put it in there, and it just sets. Like I say, you don't want to crank them down, torque them down as hard as you can, but put them snug. And then that's pretty much. Then since you got these holes back here already set up for the strings to go through, you're pretty much ready just to go ahead and put the strings on. And I'll show you how I set this up over here. So okay, I'm going to do it later. This isn't the same guitar, but I'm going to go ahead and finish it up because this what I did. I just put the strings in here, like I say, over through these brass eyelets, and you see the brass eyelets are on the other side as well. It just makes it look a little nicer. And I I use a bolt and a nut for my bridge. I don't know, it's just funny. So you have to bring the wire up here and go through this first eyelet, and then I usually put it through the first. This is the GDG is how these are tuned. So I'll put the first one through over here. And you know, believe it or not, I don't have any musical abilities. I can barely talk, so I don't have any musical abilities. It's just interesting how and why I build these. I don't know, it's just fun. So what I'll do is I just crank these up, and I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. But as you can see right here, if I can get close to it. See right here, this little eyelet holds the string down, and so it goes over to the tuning rack here, and it keeps it down a little bit lower on the, so it doesn't wind at the top. And I haven't tried these strings before. These are Diardio or something. I've never tried them before, and thought I'd give it a shot. So that sounds good. I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'll bring it back up when I got most of these strings on here. Kind of show you. It's torturous to watch me do this. I had to switch strings. These things are junk. They only went up to about here. I didn't have enough wire to turn around these tuners up here. So these things are junk. I have no use for them. I'll probably give them away to somebody. So I went back to my tried and true, these Ernie Ball Hyper Slinkies. And I use the 32, 24 wound, and the 14 string. That's GDG. And I'm gonna stick with these things. These things work like a champ. And like I said, I don't make any money off Hyper Slinkies, Ernie Ball. I just like what I like. And I'm going to tell people what I like, and that's just how it's going to work. So 32, 24 wound, and 14. And tune D, D. Now these are brand new strings. They got to stretch out. And it's tuned to an open G. So there it is. These strings will have to stretch out, settle in, so they're going to go in and out of tune. So, but that's where it is. It's all complete now. I just got to do is put the back on, and I put the wires on. This is a different one that I showed you guys before. This is a guy ordered this. He wanted this one stained, and he wanted a spruce wood neck. So I just made it out of spruce. He didn't want to pay a lot of money for it, so I cut him some slack, and the spruce wasn't expensive as oak, and I went and stained it, but it looks nice. It's going to sound good. I'm going to put the back on, then I'm going to come back and I'll show you. I'll turn my I have an amplifier over here, and I'll turn it on for you. I haven't put the knobs on yet because I had to order some knobs because I'm out. And I'll put those on, but I can still mess with these like it is. All right. Okay. Let me put the back on. Yeah, I use my iPad. There's a program called Pano Tuner, and I just set it underneath the neck of the instrument, and it tunes it automatically. This is the best thing. It was free. This is the best one I've ever used. I've had Fender and some other ones. They weren't worth a toot. So I deleted them all, and I keep going back to this. It just works better. Pano Tuner. It's free off of apps anywhere. So, like I say, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I'm just telling you what works for me. Okay, I'm going to put the back on, and I'll come back to you. Should take me a couple of seconds to do it. All right, thanks. Well, I thought I better try the amplifier first before I put the back on, but I don't know if you can hear it because my amplifier, this is a battery-powered amplifier back here. This one here. Battery powered. It's for like street performers and things like that. So I think the batteries are getting weak on it. So I'm not going to take the time putting new batteries in, but I can hear it. It's playing, so it's working. So I'm going to. Oh. Yeah, the batteries are weak. So I'm going to go ahead and put the back on. So here it is with the back on. And it seems to be working okay, and it's like I said, I'm going to ship out 3 of these tomorrow, I think. Well, as soon as I get the other ones done, I'll be shipping out 3 in the next few days. As soon as I get the knobs. Knobs should come in any time. So that's pretty much it. And like I said, the only thing that takes me so long to build these is waiting for the glue to dry, and just that's it, because I got all the parts and I know how it works. But you know what I try and do on these, as you can see, I try and keep the original. I try not to drill a lot of screws in here and mess with all this. I try to keep this pretty much original. And a lot of people, they'll put a pickup in here, you know, put it, and kind of messes it up. I mean, this is not a pickup, but they'll put a pickup in there, drill a hole. They'll drill holes over here for the knobs and the input jack. And I just think it's funny just how it looks like this. I just want to keep people wondering, going, what the heck is that thing? How's it making all that sound? And like I say, just real unique. I have fun building these. Like I say, the only wood shop I had was back in junior high, and I don't want to tell you how many years ago that was. But it's just, I just kind of figured this stuff out on my own. And I just thought, okay, how would this thing, what's the best build I could do for this? And that's just what I'd figured out to do. And it seems to be working okay. And I haven't dropped one of these, and I'm not going to, but I've got them pretty well secured inside, so if they drop it, it's not going to jolt and break away, I hope. But anyway, this bolt, I have people ask me, why the heck you put a bolt in there? Because it's funny. You know, who else does this? I've tried tried to do other things. I've tried, these are slides. You play slides, and I've put these in here before. It's kind of like whatever the guy wants who builds who wants to buy these, who they're built for. It's kind of like if they have a request, I'll try and accommodate their request. So